Now? Yes? Okay, good. So, hello everyone. This is an ASO Roundup. As you know, the mobile app business is one of the most demanding markets currently, and ASO has become a crucial part in every app marketing strategy. And it has also evolved throughout the years a lot. For this reason, we have this ASO Roundup, and we have invited the top ASO experts that are going to help us in understand ASO better. I would like to welcome Luca Giacomel from Vending Spoons, Georgina Palau from PKSO, Ekaterina Petrakova from Rocket Internet, Ilya Kukarev from JetRadar, and Peter Fodor from App Agent. So as you know, the first question is a little introduction about yourself. So I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself just a little bit. And when and how did you start in ASO? Luca, would you like to start?
Yeah, sure. So quickly, I started as a data scientist at Vending Spoons. So I didn't start directly in ASO, and I didn't know it existed until very recently. But then I made some discoveries by analyzing the store, by analyzing rankings, by doing some things, and then trying to do some updates in the store of our applications. And I saw there was a huge value in trying to optimize the metadata and try to improving conversion of the visual metadata as well. So there we decided, hey, we can start doing this thing that is optimizing the metadata. And then we discovered that there was a huge community involved in ASO. So I started from a non-ASO background and moved there slowly over the last year and a half, probably. So yeah, that's my story.
Good, thank you. Maybe Georgina, you want to continue?
Yeah, sure. Well, I've been working here at Picasso for almost a year now, and as Lucas said, I've been in the ASO business for almost a year now. And well, we work with very different clients and very different apps, so I've seen quite a lot of different cases, and it really struck me what ASO is, and so yeah, I've been working in that for not such a long time, but we're getting there.
Good, thank you. Katerina?
Yeah, so my first touch point with ASO actually happened when I joined Rocket Internet. It was 3.5 years ago, and it was my first task to set up app store optimization benchmark. So since then, I basically was responsible for best practices, the benchmark, and basically any consultancy from Rocket Internet to our companies. And now I also do mobile marketing, which is actually quite sad because I don't really have hands-on experience in ASO for quite a long time. But yeah, but ASO benchmark helps me a lot to see what's actually going on.
Yeah. Yes. Good, thank you. Ilya, would you like to continue?
Yeah, why not? Okay, so hi everyone again. And what about me? I used to work on Odesk. This is the largest freelance site, and now it's called Upwork. I used to work as CEO translator for about 5 years, and it was actually, it was 4 years ago, and then guys from Aviasales invited me to do ASO job for their flights and hotel apps. And actually, 4 years ago, ASO was kind of magic, and no one understood what is it about. And I was the one who were doing this, and I'm trying to learn ASO without any books or articles or without these awesome Slack channels and other stuff. So I just trying to test, and that's how we succeed in the ASO. And I guess I'm the one in Russia who is start from nothing, and here I am. So thank you for the invitation.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for being here for us. And let's finish with Peter.
Hi, Christina. Thanks for having me. It seems I'm a veteran in the industry. I started back in 2011. So before I founded AppAgent, I had my own gaming studio. So we started, as indies. So ASO was an integral part of our strategy. We reached 8 million downloads, basically with zero media budget. And at that time, it was a completely different story compared to how ASO looks today. I used tools such as Searchman, which I'm not sure any one of you still remembers. I tried, stuffing competitor names in keyword fields, and it was approved by Apple. So lots of weird stuff. I got rejected like 20 times, maybe 30 times in my career, while trying to find what works and what's possible to pass through their review process. So it's been quite a ride. And today I'm managing AppAgent. Same as Ekaterina, I'm not hands-on involved in keywords optimization myself, but discussing strategies and outcomes with the team basically on a daily basis. So the great thing is that we have both games and apps in our portfolio and many learning cycles throughout the year. So the most exciting part is to compare how apps and games and different verticals compare to each other.
Wow, yeah. All of you guys have really interesting backgrounds. Thank you for telling us. And now let's start with the hot questions. So which of the latest updates in Apple App Store and Google Play Store have had the biggest impact on the app marketing industry? And how do you handle these challenges? I don't know. Luca, would you like to start?
Yeah, sure. So I'd rather keep this very interactive. So guys, stop me if I say something stupid or agree with me.
Yeah.
But I think that the biggest revolution was probably iOS 11 with the auto-playing video still and the subtitles. It kind of changed a bit the rules of the game and promoted new apps. It changed the way people interacted with the store and decided to download one app or the other. So there, I think that really Apple did a nice job and allowed people that were really into doing a good job in metadata optimization and creation of visuals that were very tied to the app to actually showcase the app before the users were actually able to download the app, and so allowed people to get better conversion and showed that they had a better product on the store. So that, I think, it's probably the best thing that I've seen. And also now I'm very curious to see the new beta of the Google Play that hopefully is going to launch something very similar to what Apple is doing. So there, I guess I'll see what comes around.
Yeah. Peter?
I have to fully agree with Luca. He just mentioned what I wanted to say, because the video, when it's auto-played, is able to translate the message in much better way than screenshots. And I will talk about it later, but we analyze how people behave in the store, and most of them, I'd say more than half, basically doesn't interact with the content on the app page. They make a decision in a couple of seconds, and then the video plays a major role. And from the newest stuff, we already discussed this before the live stream started, the potential of testing assets in Apple Search Ads and also installs per keyword gives us more understanding how people actually behave in the store. And for us, this meant that we basically forget the strategy of targeting many keywords, mostly brand keywords, because we have seen that they are not converting as you would like to, and therefore look more for long-term phrases and some more generic terms, which don't have such volume, but at the end of the day, drive users with higher LTV who really make a purchase within the app.
Yeah, yeah. Katerina?
Well, I definitely agree with the guys. I would also add reviews. Like now on both app stores, you can actually really see the reviews basically on top of the whole page. And I think it attracts lots of attention. People and users, they are not afraid anymore to write a review, and they really write what they want to write. And despite the fact that we don't really have limited space or storage in our phones, we actually gonna read it, not because maybe the new application is gonna take so much space, but just because we want to know what we are downloading. There are so many apps out of there, and these reviews are really more and more important. I think it's one of the biggest challenges for our companies now, especially who scaled up, and to manage those reviews, it's a big challenge.
Yeah.
If I can ask you something, because that's something that always puzzles me about reviews. I noticed that people tend to leave reviews when they're mad about something. So there is always a negative bias in reviews somehow. So as much as I think they're interesting, many times you would see people that are happy, they don't write a review because they're happy is the standard. But then people that have negative feedback, they will always write it. So I'm not 100% sure that the positioning of the review very high in a very visible position in the page is definitely the best choice ever. But yeah, I was wondering whether you also had this same.
I do agree as well. And in Google Play, you can even vote for the useful reviews, right? So you kind of can.
Yeah, also in the App Store. Also in the App Store,
but it's more visible in Google, at least for me. And I think this is cool. That actually showed that some people can agree on certain points. What is also interesting for me is that users sometimes give 3 stars and they're actually pretty satisfied with the product. So it really doesn't answer the question whether you like the product or not, because it's not exactly what user would assume who would like to download an application. So it's definitely one of the ranking factors and one of the factors that influence the user before downloading. And they don't think whether someone else left because they were angry with the product right now. So they just see this rating, and that's what I think. And I also, as for the branding, it's not really good.
Yeah,
I would say.
Look, I have a follow-up part to this. We see one big issue with Kiwi.com, which is a travel company, that users are basically using reviews as a customer support, and they are hating the service itself, not the app, not the actual buying platform, but that they missed the flight or something else happened, because that's super easy for them just to write on Google Play. And then we are dealing with low ratings regarding things which the company isn't able to affect. So I would be more than happy if reviews don't have such a prominent position in the UI of the store page.
Yeah, I agree. And I see this also in businesses with subscriptions in which there are a few users that are not really happy with the subscription because they're more price sensitive. And so those 3 users that are not happy, they might totally affect your conversion. And there is 1,000 users that are actually fine and your ratings might be okay. And then you have those very bad reviews. You don't really understand why. So we can start a movement.
Yes. I don't know if Ilya or Georgina have something else to say about this, or you would like to go to the next question?
No, sorry, Ilya.
Oh, no problem. Actually, I want to answer the second part of the question. How do you handle these challenges? And just reminds that when Apple announced this new App Store layout, the only thought in my mind was, oh my God, I have so many localizations. I have 30 localizations for every app. I have to change all the screenshots for all these localizations. And oh my God. It was really surprising, and I have had about 2 months before the release. So we made a great job and optimized all our screenshots, all our app names, and other stuff for the new App Store layout. And actually, we saw about 20% growth from our old screenshots to the new one. So I guess for us, it was a great update, and but still I saw some apps that have, I guess, old screenshots from iOS 10, and they didn't update it. So
no, I was about to I just wanted to highlight the fact that with the new App Store layout, the number of characters that we could use working with keywords was reduced significantly. So that made us to really do this exercise of synthesizing, and it was a challenge, but with time you just and you just go with it, and just like by trying, testing what is working, what doesn't. So yeah, I guess like the biggest challenge in the end is just to keep up with these new trends and just try to overcome them just as they come, because they stores change every day. So I would just want to say that.
Actually, I remind one of the biggest changes in the App Store. It's not recent change, but it was, I guess, a couple years ago, yeah, when they cut the app title from 255 symbols to the 50. And I was on the vacation this day, and I just opened news, and so Apple cuts app name to 50 symbols. And I said, what how can I do this? I have all 30 locales I have filled with different keywords and other stuff. And I guess this was the biggest change on app metadata.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to question number 3. What are the main conversion rate elements for you guys? Peter, would you like to start?
Sure, I can start, but I won't talk about my opinions. I will talk about research which we did the last August 2017. We analyzed 5 apps from our portfolio. Altogether it was 25,000 visitors, 10,000 installs, and we figured out how people really behave in the store, and it's quite surprising, I would say. So I already mentioned that the overall duration, or the average duration during which people decide whether to install or leave the store page is about 7 seconds, and that half of the people don't engage at all with the content. Also, what was shocking to me, that only 13% of users scroll through screenshots in general. For games, it's a little bit better, but it gives us the learning that we really have to focus on the first 1 or 2 screenshots, especially if we have a video, then the space is even more limited for screenshots. And also that we have to put as a large font in screenshots when we have one-liners as possible, because only 3% of people enlarge screenshots. And if you go through the store even today, you will find that majority of apps is still using very small letters, long sentences, and basically this means it's unreadable on devices, except if you don't have iPhone 6 or 7 Plus, these big sizes, or an iPad. So this was quite shocking to me, together with the fact that on Google Play, only 3% of people play the video. And I think this number reveals why Google follows Apple and is testing the new layout when the video will be placed on the first spot in front of screenshots, because obviously it didn't work well when it was just the play button on the feature art.
Yeah, guys, you're open to answer.
Yeah, I'm gonna go as well. So I would say what doesn't work, in my opinion, for conversion, like there are many things. I think that the autoplaying videos work like crazy. One very important thing to always consider is the poster frame, as Peter correctly reminded. Like for like some stores, the video don't autoplay yet, but on iOS, I think it's still fairly important to have a very good poster frame, because for some people, the video will not load in time, even though there is autoplay enabled, or for some people, they will have autoplay disabled because they have battery settings or whatever other reason. So we noticed a huge difference in conversion by changing the poster frames in the past. And the very poor poster frames had very poor conversions in the store, even though the video was great. So that is very important. And also, I'm sometimes puzzled by the impact on conversion, on search conversion of the icon, because sometimes there is a bit of a difference, but unless you upload something that is very, very terrible and different from what users would expect from your app, we didn't see huge impacts on that, especially because it has a smaller real estate on the page. So for that, I think that still the biggest elements for conversion would be screenshots and videos and poster frames for the moment.
Yeah. Georgina?
Well, I completely agree with you guys that visuals are a very, very important conversion rate element, if not the most important one. But in my opinion, there's another thing that really plays a role in conversion, that are the average rating, and of course the ratings and reviews, because in the end, that's what draws people to download the app. If you have like really nice visuals, but in the end you have pretty bad average rating, I don't know how many users will download the app. So for me, reviews and average rating are really important conversion element. So I don't know what the others think, but
okay, let me continue. So I guess when we are talking about Google Play, I guess the icon is the crucial part of the conversion optimization, because you don't see these screenshots, you just see icon, and you have to select this. Have to select the app from the search results based on icon. So when we added this small percent mark, like discount on the icon, we were able to make plus 20% for our conversion rate. So just this small mark and such a boost. So as for Google Play, it's definitely icon, and as for App Store, it's about screenshots and of course ratings, because you have to show to your users what your app is doing. They have to understand, and actually when I see high level of conversion rate from impression to the page view, I guess this ASO job done not very good, because users have to click on the you click on your app to find out better what is your app about. So I guess you should aim to 1% or 0% conversion rate from impression to the page view, because this way all conversions will go directly to installs. So this is about screenshots and of course ratings, because I guess everyone, maybe not us, because we are professionals and we know that even an app has 3 stars, it still can be good, just because you can see like apps like Facebook and Instagram and VK in Russia, they all have 1 or 2 stars, and that doesn't mean that they're bad. That mean that they have lots of users that not like something, but they're still good. But for usual apps, like for India apps and something, rating is very, very important. So I guess developers should work more with these ratings. And I was trying to tell everyone about importance of localization for 1 year about, and now I'm trying to tell everyone about importance of their average rating. So so it's like small things that build your success.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the zero conversion rate wouldn't impact the retention of your app, because imagine that people skip the screenshots, the description, they just install the app, open it for the very first time, and I would expect there will be a high churn rate. And also, if you are running some paid acquisition, the store page is very critical for converting users to actual downloads.
Yeah, agreed, but I'm talking about the App Store search now, not about the paid acquisition. But my point is that you have to show your user everything about your app on the first 3 screenshots. And if he or she doesn't understand something, he or she will open the app page. And in some way, I think that is not very good, because I don't know, it's just my opinion.
Yeah, if I can add something on this, we notice, and I'm sorry if when I talk more about the App Store. So correctly, you said that the icon has a huge role in the Play Store, and we work mainly with the App Store nowadays. So we noticed that in the App Store, most of the people that download the apps organically, they download it directly from the search page, And we're talking something that is between 60 to 80%, depending on the search. If it's a branded search, it might be even more. So this is, I agree with Ilya about the fact that it's essential to try to communicate all the best things already in the search page. But then, of course, there are some users that might be more valuable that will navigate and go inside your page. And so it's also very important to have a good page inside, because those users might be the 1% that convert at the end of the day. So yeah.
Thinking of Google Play, where you have only the icon, and there you will probably see a drop after the onboarding if people install it directly in the App Store. I agree with you.
If I can also something to add. So speaking of the search, did anyone investigate whether editor's choice sign somehow increased the conversion rate or ranking in the category? Because now if you go to the application page in Apple App Store, you can also see the ranking in the category.
Yeah, no, it's something I meant to test for a while, but since I still don't have any apps in the editor choices. And Apple, if you're watching this,
I'm also trying to do
put
this.
one of our apps there so that we
investigate.
can test this. Yeah, and
Yeah,
we'll do soon. We'll do very soon to check whether this has any impact on the rankings, given that we have this internal A/B tested store Maven-like store that we can use for this stuff. So yeah, I will keep you posted.
I also will try to figure that out. The only problem is that we have so many countries, and it's really related to a country. So you need to go to a particular country app store and check it out.
Thank you. Before I continue, I would like to say that at the end we'll have a short time for questions, because the people that are watching us are already asking a lot of questions, but first we need to finish with these ones. Okay, the next one is, what's the best way to keep track of your implemented ASO strategy? So how do you do that? Have you heard me?
Yeah, I guess I can answer. And what I'm using is when I'm doing the text optimization, I'm always watching on the impression rate. So if my impressions goes up, I did a good job. So my impressions goes down, I did a bad job. So I guess this is the only way to track your visibility. And also when I'm doing some graphic, I'm looking at conversion rate from impression to install. And that's all, just 2 charts. And I guess Apple or Google, they don't give us any other tools to track our success. So just these 2 charts for me. Maybe you can, guys, maybe you can add something what I'm missing.
Yes, Georgina, you can add more things, I believe.
For me, it's really important the keyword distribution. So I use the tool to track loads and loads of apps, and if you done like a really good ASO implementation, you'll see that the keyword distribution will just skyrocket, and yeah, that's the main thing that I track. Also, what Elias said, impressions are really important, because in the end, it's what it's the number that says if people have seen your app or not. And but yeah, I think keyword distribution is the best. Well, not the best, but the thing that I look the most at, and also of course top charts and ratings.
Well, for me, I try to have this very data-driven approach to ASO. So the problem with that update is that you might have gained a position, like in 10 keywords, you might have gained positions, but you lost 1 position in this very important keyword that was driving most of your downloads, right? So at the end of the day, you would need to be able to translate from keyword positioning to actual downloads that you make from those keywords. And if you're able to do this precisely, basically you could be able to build back the number of estimated downloads that you get from every search, and then see whether you're a textual ASO update, because the one that are more about visuals, it's more complicated to test them. But for textual, you're able to see whether you actually grew or went worse. But of course, we had to build these complicated models that try to tell us how many downloads we get for every keyword. And those models need to be very precise, otherwise all this job is a bit unpractical.
In addition to the conversion rate optimization, I tried several times to test similar icons or similar screenshots in the Google Play Store, and I've seen that it happens. There are differences of 5–7%. So based on these learnings, I made a simple rule that we always retest the experiment. We switch the AB version to BA and run it again, and also ignore anything, any change, an improvement which is below 5 or ideally below 10%. Be really sure that the result is statistically significant.
Well, I can only add, I agree with everything that was said. From my point of view, more like benchmark point of view, I would say when you look at each particular like KPI that I have tracked, you can already see whether like the app store optimization is actually something that company is working on or not. Because I know, guys, you're all very advanced and you're really focusing on this, but in my world, many companies are still not that advanced. So you still have to convince them that you have to do keyword optimization, should be done properly, that you have to invest time in changing your app icon because of the season or because of like special sale and so on. And what really helps is actually like showing that where is your app and where is average in the vertical. And then you see which particular KPIs in the area your application is lacking something.
Okay, yeah, that's good for when you're doing the conversion optimization for your clients. It's better to show them what's the average conversion rate in the category and see, like in travel, it's about 9 or 10%. And when some companies from travel industry come to me and say, yeah, we have a good screenshots, and I see, yeah, guys, you have 4% conversion rate. It's twice lower than the average. So what are you talking about? Let's work. So I guess this comparison compare with average data and these graphs are the main things to track your strategy.
Yeah, and also if I can add something else, because we talked about it before starting this chat with Peter, but basically nowadays that Apple Search Ads also has a way of validating the goodness of your choices in terms of visual metadata optimization, given that you can do some creative testing. What I basically do nowadays is to test stuff before putting it live in the store with something like Split Metrics, Store Maven, or the tool that we created internally that replicates the store. And then once we put it live, we go and check at impressions, we go and check at various data. And nowadays we can also check with creative testing whether that variation is doing better than the previous one. So
I have a question to it. Do you only test it on organic traffic, or you'd like to like split on the organic traffic, or also look at any paid acquisition or any other kind of acquisition that you have that is not organic?
Yeah, we try to reproduce what the app is currently doing. So if it's an app that does mostly organic downloads, we'd send users to the search page. And there you would try to simulate what the user does when it does a organic search. But if it's an app that gets like 90% of paid downloads, you directly send the users to the app page and test the various conversion elements in the app page, and the coordination between your visual metadata and the creative that has been using for ads, which might be very important.
Because like for one of our companies, they have quite a big percentage of paid acquisition traffic, and they noticed that it has really, really bad like impact. And despite the fact that they try to do like everything good in terms of app store optimization, but based on organic, so they try to optimize on organic, which is important. But at the end, they got so much from paid channels that all these optimizations, it might be working, but at the end, you might be losing this 1% of your paid traffic, which is actually cost you more. And you can optimize this paid traffic on not just install rate, on actual conversion like purchase or subscription and so on.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. You need to optimize what gives you the the most value, right? So not the most users. Most of the time, you want the most value. So even less users that are more valuable, especially if you're in apps like utilities and non-gaming. So yeah, it's a complex word. Always be testing. That's my motto.
Okay, let's go to question number 5. What was your biggest ASO epic win and epic fail?
Okay, let's. I can start again. So, what do you guys want to hear first? My first fail or my greatest win?
Fail. We want to fail.
Yeah, everybody wants to hear about fails. Okay, so I have even 2 fails for you guys.
Wow.
Yeah, the first one was the classic mistake of the newbie, when you're just working for like 6 months and you see that everything is working what you're doing, and you say, oh God, I am the boss here, I can do whatever I want. And this was about my flight searching app like JetRadar. And one day we got rejected for the descriptors in the our title, like airline names. So I guess, why not? I have to remove all these airline names because my app is very successful here. So I just placed my brand name on the first and say just JetRadar.cheap flights. So okay, let's release this. And the next day we made this release. So what do you think we see? We see the about 60% decrease in downloads. So, and it was my sixth month in the company, and I told guys in the morning, okay guys, we just lose half of our downloads. And because I thought that I'm the boss here, but I'm not. So this was the time when Apple reviewed your app for about a week. It's not just 10 hours like now. It was about a week then. And we have to wait a week to fix this thing. And we got rejected several times with same reasons of descriptors in the app title. But finally, I was able to even boost these downloads. So and since then, I never think that I'm the boss. So, I'm just doing my job, and I'm trying to not to fail. So, and the other thing, we're trying to launch our apps in China, like working with all these Chinese app stores, like Xiaomi, Huawei, and other stuff. But it was also the fail because, or even I don't know how to work with Chinese guys. But we have lots of downloads for China for our main apps. But for in Chinese apps, it was about about maybe 1,000 per month from all the stores. So we spent lots of time and lots of money on this stuff, but never succeeds with this. So if you guys want to go to China, to all these Chinese Android app stores, you have to be prepared for it, or just hire the company who are doing ASO in these stores and work it. So it's really complicated thing, and I guess we won't try again in next year. So, and about the good stuff, one of our daily meetings, we decided, why not we have to localize our app to Arabic, and just for Arabic countries. And we did this. It took about maybe 1 week. We just copied the app bundle and to make the different app name. And now Arabic stores help us to boost our downloads, and we have about 30% of all downloads are coming from Arabic countries. So it was just a test. Why not? Let's do it. And I guess this was my biggest win, because of course, it was a really hard job to localize to Arabic language and to make a keyword research on Arabic, and I don't sleep well until then, but finally it was the biggest win, I guess. So I think that's all, and you guys have something to tell me about your fails. I want to hear that.
I'm not afraid of telling how I failed. We created pretty good a preview video for our client, and it was basically a simplified UI of the app to highlight the most important part of the UI of the booking process. It took us like 4 or 5 weeks to produce that, and then Apple rejected the video, so we have to start again from scratch and explain the client what happened. So we created a portrait video, and that led to a second fail, because once we uploaded a preview video in the new iOS 11 store, just on the time when the store was switching to the new layout, all the horizontal screenshots, which were on the right from the vertical video, were turned 90 degrees, so basically unreadable. And it's probably some sort of bug in the App Store, which we have to fix then. So it was basically another fail in a short time. So since then, we changed those screenshots to the traditional portrait orientation, and that's what's in the store nowadays. But these were like 2 conversion rate fails, but in all, we are able to reach 82% increase in conversion rate for the client, and also in terms of the overall growth, organic growth in the US, we reached 72%, and then in 5 other non-US countries around 60%. So there are also some successes. But the overall ratio is you fail like 3 or 4 times, and then you have 1 successful experiment. That's my learning.
I will go with mine then. I still remember we were doing a release for an amazing app that you should download that is called PicJointer, and that was stuck in the process of release because ASO was not ready with the metadata, because unfortunately our designer was busy that day. So I decided to say, hey guys, no worries, I will Photoshop the new UI into the old screenshots. And yeah, it looked like a good idea because the old screenshots were doing fine. But once I put the new UI and actually released the app started losing downloads like crazy. So conversion went to, how to say that? Yeah, went to a very poor place. But yeah, so that was an incredible fail because I didn't test it. I thought that, you know, just by changing the UI inside the screenshots, I would only get a very tiny difference, and instead it was detrimental. So this improved my idea of always test stuff. And as for the win, I think there is another app for which we did as an ASO team, because it wasn't just me, of course. Bending Spoons, we have a 5-people team. But we did an amazing video for another app that is a slideshow maker that got a lot of downloads after we released the video. I think we were able to gain between 50% to 100% of downloads thanks to that, and improving the conversion. So very happy about that.
Thank you. Guys, I'm really sorry, but we have to jump to the next question because we are kind of running out of time. So I'm gonna ask you to give me or to give us one ASO tip for a new app or game. Maybe Georgina, you wanna start?
Well, I think that the biggest tip that I can give someone who's starting with a new app would be to conduct like a really exhaustive research, like at the beginning, both with competitors and keywords, in order to see what are the other applications in your vertical are working with. So that would be my tip. And also another one, a little one for new apps on that want to launch in Google Play, would be to add some keywords in the bundle ID, because that is also indexed, and well, it's really I don't know, I find it an interesting one, just to put some keywords out there.
Good, thank you. Katerina, maybe you want to continue?
I definitely agree with looking at the competitors, but I would say sometimes it's even more interesting to look at completely different verticals, because you can find other ideas and how to actually stand out from the crowd with your application. Then definitely localize as much as possible. If you want to launch in several countries, it really matters. And I saw it in so many countries, like in Arabic or in Russian App Store, for example. It really like significantly increase your conversion rates and number of downloads or installs. And I would say that don't speed up with A/B testing. It's really powerful tool, but only when you already have a certain number of users and you're not afraid to lose, especially with the tools which are actually like fake in the App Store.
Do you have something to add?
Yeah, no, my only thing would be to track a lot of keywords, as I also said in Applause in Barcelona, but track a lot of keywords, use some great tools for tracking keywords like TheTool, and try to always watch out for your competition because they're coming at you hard all the time. So stay on top of them and yeah, attract the market.
Yeah, just try to use long tails. Don't try to rank high, for example, for Instagram keyword. And long tails is everything for the newer apps. So just use them.
Peter?
I will add something to conversion rate optimization. Luca already touched this before. Try to be very bold in your experiments. Try different, like very different executions, and don't be too rigid when it comes to following your brand on the beginning, because you need to figure out what layout, what messaging resonates the most with your customers and converts most of them.
Yeah. And okay, it's time for the last question. So what do you think of Google Play Console new feature installs per keyword? Have you tested it, and what kind of results have you got?
Yeah, actually, we tested it. We don't have this tool in our account yet, but we tested in the tool account. So I think this should be in really pre alpha version. So it's good one, but for our apps, just 50% of the search terms each just branded keywords, and then there are high traffic keywords that I already know about without this Google Play feature. So, and 90% of other keywords are hidden for the others thing, and you just open it. Okay, I know that. I know my branded keywords. I know my high traffic keywords, and that's it. So I guess when they roll out this to all users, I guess they will have the breakdown by country and more keywords just opened for checking. So now it's not really useful. So, but it was good to check it. But as for usability, I don't think that this is very useful now.
Yeah, I also used it a bit with the tool, which is the only one at the moment providing it to people that are not in the beta, I guess. So there, I think it's an essential thing that Google should be doing. Should be doing a bit better, since you don't have the split by country at the moment, which I think it's essential. So I know that it gets some downloads from a keyword, but I don't know in which country. It could be in Australia, US, or anywhere else. And also, it's the biggest keywords, but I think it's already a huge step in the right direction, because you will actually understand between those big keywords which one is the first, which one is the second, and it will allow us to understand how to evaluate better our ASO efforts in the future. So hopefully they're gonna roll it out to everybody and with more keywords.
Yeah. Other opinions?
I completely agree with what they said. Like, for the moment, it's not really that useful unless you're working with really big apps with a lot of downloads and users, because then you can really have like a really long list of keywords. But in the end, most of them are like hidden in the others section. So as Lucas said, like and Ilya, when I hope that they will really improve this feature, because for now, okay, yeah, it's useful, but to some extent.
Yeah, but of course, this is the right step to the right direction, and I hope someday Apple will open to us something about the keywords. Just maybe worldwide search ads will be good, I guess.
Asking too much.
Yeah.
At least now we can see how our brand is improving over time, maybe.
Yeah, this is very good.
Is that all? Yes, okay. I see that all of you are using the tool. Thank you so much. And yes, as you know, since February 2018, we show this data, these installs per keyword, to all the tool users. Now we have more than 10,000 users that are currently using this tool, this feature, among others, and enjoying it. So if anyone wants to join, we have 14 days trial in our paid plans. You're more than welcome. And now we will jump to the questions. Let me see what we have here.
Question time.
Yes, we have.
Don't we have some music to introduce the new section?
Actually, yes. Luca, we have some questions straight to you.
Oh, wow.
Yes, we have someone asking you that how do you calculate or track the download from the search against from the app page, and if they can see that.
Sorry, I don't know if I got the question.
Yeah, yes.
So basically, they want to know how I compute the downloads for every keyword.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, I cannot tell you that because it's part of a very long research process that took us a long time to build. It involves some stuff that is in the App Store, plus the fact of being able to actually understand which would be the amount of downloads that you would get if you were first, second, or third. So basically, try to understand the distribution of the share of the downloads by clicks. And for this, we did some testing with the simulated stores and a lot of statistical reasoning in order to understand the shape of the curve. And then you need to understand which is the traffic that gets to that particular keyword and multiply the two together in order to get a estimate. I cannot tell you about the traffic part, of course. Sorry.
We have another one that is in general for everyone. This guy is asking us, so adding videos definitely increases downloads. Do you all agree from personal experience?
I wouldn't say this is always the case, because if you have, let's say, shitty video, it can have exactly the opposite effect. So it also depends how you produce the video, what's the content of the video. So it's very important, and you also should test this because the messaging on the beginning is usually the most important one to catch the attention. Every couple of seconds you are losing a significant portion of your viewers. So better to test this and put your effort into producing high quality video.
Actually, if I can add, we saw negative effect of video on downloads for some of the e-commerce apps. We decided to remove it after.
Yes, we have the same thing in the Google Play. So we tested the video for our apps, and this comes about 5% minus 5% for conversion. So I guess video works better for games when you have to show your user what is your game about, how to play it. So, and when we are talking about like shopping apps or utilities, it's I guess screenshots is enough.
We have seen about 26% of the increase when we used the video for a travel app. It really depends, and that's what Luca mentioned, always be testing.
Yeah, it's all about testing, but as my opinion, it's videos is more for games than apps.
I think it also can be depending on the country, whether users are ready to engage with the content irrespectively of the category, or they actually already know what they want, or more skeptical.
Just to go against you guys, we don't have many games, and we have videos for all of our apps. We only have like 1 or 2 apps which you might consider games. So yeah, there we tested so many videos that at the end we found one that was converting better than still screenshots. But we're not, we're always trying different things, and if screenshots work better, we go with screenshots. But yeah, it takes a long time to build videos because it's so long to get different variations.
And you always can be rejected for just a random reason.
Happens. Yeah.
We've tested free video with the same app and realized that this is decreasing the conversion. So we then stick to one learner, which performed by far the best.
Yeah, so it's about just A/B, A/B, and A/B, A/B. So this, all the App Store optimization is about testing. So.
Okay, we have some more here. Have you seen decreased conversion rates with the feature image?
I have nothing to say because I didn't track them from. So, guys.
So, do you mean the feature image when the app inside as the top?
I guess they mean the feature graphic, yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, again, Apple still hasn't decided to feature one of our apps yet, Apple. But yeah, so I will be able to answer this only in the future.
So, and if you are talking about a Google Play image on the top of the page, I guess this affects conversion rate more than screenshots. So you have to pay lots of attention to it. So, but as I told, I didn't test it yet, so nothing to say here.
Okay, and is it very important to translate the description to multiple languages?
As for Google Play, it's crucial because it's just indexing. But as for App Store, I don't think so. You can just translate first couple sentences, and that's all. If you don't want to spend hundreds of dollars to translate to 20 or 30 languages, just translate a couple sentences, and that's fine.
Yeah, I agree. For App Store, for Google Play, you have to. For the App Store, there are probably more important things that you need to do before doing that. Then if you're done with everything else, also translate descriptions.
I would just have to add that you should think also what are the languages available in your product, in your application. So if you try to claim like some other languages or countries where actually the application will be translated itself, that's a one case. And we actually try to use several languages on screenshots, for example, for Arabics, where it was not possible to add like specific ones. So you have to still use English, and it worked pretty well. We had an uplift in conversion rate.
Yeah, forgot to add on this that for search ads, it might be beneficial to also have the description translated in the languages you're targeting with search ads. So in case you will be using this from the 1st of August when they will be releasing new countries, maybe it's also good to have the description translated.
Maybe I can share our strategy regarding translations. We usually pick 4 or 5 countries which are the most important ones. There we do the keyword optimization, including research of keywords with local speakers. And then we have another 10, sometimes even 15 countries where we do just the translation of all the assets and the description itself, and then rest of the world. So based on the bandwidth you have in-house or number of countries which are important to you, you should basically create some buckets of countries and put different efforts to these and track your ROI of your time or money invested.
Yeah, so I think in the App Store, the description translation is the latest thing you should do. After you've done the keyword research, the screenshots and other stuff, and then you understand that you have downloads for this language, and just when do the whole translation.
Absolutely agree.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess this is all. We have some more questions, but they're kind of the same. And thank you. I would like guys to thank you so much for being here, for sharing with us all these interesting insights, comments, experiences. And yeah, this is the first ASO, the first roundup that we are doing. So if you have any like feedback or comments, please just tell me. And again, thanks to all of you for being here, and thank you to everyone that is watching us now.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye, guys. Have a good day.
Yeah, bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.